Hey there, guys. We just had the live stream number 77 update for the Esper of Destruction, or for March. And in this video, I'll be doing a quick recap video, giving you some opinions and all that. So it was a 90-minute live stream, but honestly speaking, there was not that much information in the stream itself. So this video probably shouldn't take too long. A large portion of the live stream was like, games, little audience games, that kind of stuff. They spent a lot of time talking to one of the writers for Brave Exvius. It was definitely interesting and all that. It's not really my kind of thing, but it was, decent and all that. But yeah, as far as actual information, not a whole lot of it. So we're going to be going over the information part. If you want to see all the lore and the audience stuff, check out the live stream itself. Anyway, let's get into it. So some of the information is kind of expected. The new units from the JP anniversary, which are Rain, Fina, Laswell, and Tifa, are going to be introduced over the next 2 weeks. This week is going to be Rain and Fina. Next week is going to be Laswell, and then the awakened Tifa. It's the old Tifa that we can now awaken. So yeah, we'll be talking about these units a little bit. Here's Laswell, Neo Visions Plus. They went over the whole system. We'll talk about that too. This is mostly information that people that keep up with, videos and all. If you're watching a YouTube video about Brave Exvius, you're a person that keeps, in the loop. So you already knew all of this for the most part. It's kind of funny. People that don't know about Neo Visions Plus are the ones that don't watch the videos anyway, so they're not seeing the videos announcing Neo Visions Plus. It's kind of like a weird chicken egg situation. But anyway, so we all knew this was coming, and here it is. Laswell will be here on the 14th. So here is the first actual information. The leader skill change for Rain. So this, I seem to be in the minority here. I mentioned this during the Discord chat, and I'll be honest here. People in the Discord chat basically crucified me. They got real mad at me. And, I still love all of you, but they got real mad at me when I said I don't like this. But anyway, so in JP, this leader skill was 1000% for JP anniversary category. And then it was 750 for just water in general. On global, they are reducing the JP part, the JP anniversary, they're reducing that to 900, and they are bumping up the water to 900. So they're equalizing the water and the JP. It's just 900, period. Depending on the units you're using, this could either be a buff or a nerf. Now, in my opinion, we'll talk about the Clash of Wills part in a minute. It's different in Clash of Wills. We're talking about just in Dark Visions. So, in Dark Visions, what units are JP anniversary? So, the ones that matter, at least, are Rain and Fina himself. The Fina coming up. The Neo Visions plus Laswell. And then going forward, units like the Paladins of Grand Shout. And there's a bunch of other ones that don't really matter that much because they're not going to go on the party anyway, like, Dark Fina, the new Neo Visions plus Dark Fina. I mean, she could go on the party, stuff like that. But a lot of those units are going to now get a lower leader skill. Also, a little bit down the road, when we start getting lots and lots of Neo Visions Awakened plus, for example, Deoxys, Flaring Rain, and all of that, they all become Neo Visions Plus as well, and they're also, all of them are JP anniversaries. They're all going to get a lower leader skill. On the other hand, water units that are not anniversary are going to be getting a better leader skill. For example, Aang would get a better leader skill in Dark Visions. What are other water units that we use in Dark Visions? Chow would get a better leader skill. So really it depends. My stance is, what was the point of lowering it to 900? If they wanted to equalize it, why not just make it 1,000 and then boost water to the new threshold? Why did they have to do a good thing and then do a bad thing on top of it? Why didn't they just make it 1,000 flat? That way there's no nerf whatsoever, and it'll be only a positive. It would just be 1,000. It would purely be a boost, and everyone would be happy. There would be no downside whatsoever. But they have to go and lower that from 1,000 to 900. I'm just like, that was unnecessary. It really was. So I don't like it. I don't like it. But like I said, people in Discord are already disagreeing with me pretty heavily, so let me know in the comments. Maybe I'm standing all alone in my opinion and everyone else thinks this is amazing. I don't like it. I would have rather it be 1,000 as it should have been to JP Anniversary and then boost the water to 1,000 as well. Because as we know, going forward, all the leader skills are 1,000. All the ones that matter, that is. They're all 1,000. So why did you have to like nerf this one? You see what I'm saying? It was just unnecessary. It really is. Also, he's premium, by the way. Some of the ones going forward that are also 1,000, they're not even premiums. They're just regular old units. He's a premium unit. And it's being lowered to 900 instead of 1,000. I don't get it. I don't get it. It makes no sense. Anyway, so now moving to the Clash of Wills part, 1,200 in Clash of Wills. Obviously, that's really good. So the question here becomes, in Clash of Wills, are you going to use Rain or Aang as your leader? Aang's leader skill is obviously worse, but Aang is a much better unit than Rain is. I'll tell you, unless they like overhauled his kit entirely, his kit is bad. It's a bad kit. He's just a damage dealer, basically no utility. He chains Absolute Mirror of Equity, which at the current time not many people use. A few do, but not many. And yeah, it's like I would take a 200% loss in order to bring Aang to my party in Clash of Wills. Because Aang does a whole lot in Clash of Wills. Rain does not. Anyway, that was his change. Fina's leader skill is not being changed. It's being exactly as is, 1,000% everywhere to Blessing of the Crystals. And again, lots of the units from this event, from the upcoming events, are also Blessing of the Crystals. They kind of slap that on almost everyone for the next few weeks. They're all Blessing of the Crystals. So they're all going to fit under her leader skill. And they're all JP Anniversary, so they're going to fit under Rain's leader skill as well, even if they're not water. From the JP stuff, obviously the Clash of Wills unit will probably not be JP Anniversary. And then they talked about Neo Visions Plus. So for the most part, it's as we expected from JP. We're getting Laswell in 2 weeks. That'll be on March 14th. And then Avalanche Tifa is coming as well. She's the Awakened unit. I've already done a video talking about all these from the JP server. Hopefully you've seen it. If not, it's still on my channel. So here is just a little bit of information. You know, Neo Visions Plus, it raises the parameter cap to 600. Their level goes to 130, and their LB goes to 50 for what you're used to. And then you get a new materia slot. Now, this new materia slot is only for... Did they actually give it a special name? I'm reading right here. Did they... EX ability slot and EX... I guess they're calling it the EX ability slot. Okay, so the EX ability slot. Yeah, you can only put EX abilities in that slot. You cannot put any materia there. In JP, on the first day, they mailed us a couple for free in the mail. There was also some from the event to give you some, like, you know, budget options. But the ones you really want for these slots are from Neo Visions Plus units. They give you a 500 materia for that slot. We'll talk about that more in just a moment. So here is another change from JP. This is different. So in JP, these Azure Pearls are an awakening material for Neo Visions Plus, and you get them by clearing stages. On Global, they are being changed to come from Trust Coins and then Event Rewards. So this is another one where there seems to be some disagreements between me and people I was talking to in chat. So let me just right out of the gate. These, in JP, these pearls, they came from bosses that you can't even call them a boss. They came from farm stages that you go in, you just turn on auto repeat, and you clear it, you know, X amount of times, and you get your pearls, and that's how you get them in JP. You can farm as many as you want. They're infinite. It does cost energy, but other than energy, you can farm infinite in JP. Global is taking those stages away. Now, here is the thing where there seems to be some disagreements from people that were discussing it. So, are we going to miss the fact that we're not getting a farming stage? Which, completely honest, it's not exciting. It's not fun content. It's just basically it's the exact same thing as farming your Brave Insignias. When you got a new unit to awaken, you would go and farm your Brave Insignias. You'd kill the boss, 6 times, and you'd awaken your unit. Most of those these days come from events and all. You don't really farm them anymore, but we used to farm those from Chronicle stages. It's the exact same thing. You'd farm those. So we're not getting those stages on Global. Now, do I miss the fact that we're not going to get a relatively boring farming stage? Not really. It's not the fact that we're not getting the boring farming stage. The concern that I have and what I don't like is the fact that if you read between the lines, what they're really doing is they're just like lowering the effort of maintaining the game. You see what I'm saying? So instead of them putting in a different boss for each Neovisions to farm their pearls, they're cutting all the bosses, all the stages, and you're just buying for trust coins. So basically, it's just another thing removed from the game. This is just like them removing raids. We haven't gotten a raid in forever. They take away most of the farming stages. Like, is anyone really missing the fact that they're not killing their raid boss every single day? It's not, like, exciting and fun, but at the same time, they have taken away content from the game. Same thing for the farming stages. They have taken away content from the game. It's the same thing as like no longer getting explorations. They're taking away content from the game. And this, I see, is yet another thing that they're taking away from the game. So do I miss the fact that we're not getting a relatively uninteresting farming boss? Not specifically, but am I upset that yet one more thing is on the pile of discarded content? And yes, that is concerning to me because they have gone through and piece by piece by piece, they have taken away nearly everything from Brave Exvius Global. We get almost no farming stages anymore. We never get story events anymore except for special occasions like the JP anniversary. We're getting the current one. But other than that, we've skipped a bunch of story events. We don't get the explorations anymore. We don't get the crown stages anymore. We don't get raids anymore. We barely ever get EX battles anymore. We get a few, but they're still cutting between 2 to 4 EX battles every single week. We don't get like all this content anymore, and this is just one more thing. Now we're not getting the Azure Pearl stages anymore. You see what I'm saying? And that's what got me irritated when I saw this. Now, again, just to clarify, the stages were not interesting. And at face value, people would say, it's not that big a deal, you're losing the stage. But the point is, it's one more thing that they are taking out of the game. And the game is becoming more and more empty every single time they do this. Until you look around and you're like, there's nothing here but like Dark Visions and Clash of Wills. And the funny thing is, so we're going to talk about that right now. So as far as Dark Visions goes, that's another thing that was sort of just taken away recently. So if you look at the ending date, the current Dark Visions will be up until May 22nd, 2.5 months away. And as we know from history, because Dark Visions uses the same system as Vision World, we're not getting a Vision World either. Meaning we're not even getting a Dark Visions or Vision World for almost 3 more months. So there's like all the content in the game is being taken away. So, yeah, so everyone in the chat is like, yay, we're not going to have to do the stages. No one realizes it's another part of the game being ripped out, and there's nothing left anymore. And that's a major concern these days. Anyway, let's move on. So the other thing they talked about was Laswell, Esper of Destruction, his the EX abilities. Okay, so all Neovisions Plus units, when you get EX3, they will give you these 500 stat EX abilities. So Laswell's is 500 attack power for Royal Arms only. So a Royal Arms unit that is Neovisions Plus can equip this, and it will go into that 5th materia slot. It's very restrictive, and some of them are better than others. I mean, they're all 500 stats, but some of them are like more universally useful categories, whereas Royal Arms for Neovisions Plus is a pretty small category. There's a few. So Laswell himself, there's going to be Rain in the future, his Neovisions Awakening. I think Paladins the Grand Shout is as well. I don't actually know. I think they are. Anyway, you get the idea. So some of them are like for Gathering, some of them are for Rebellion, some of them are for Chaos Bringers. That's a new category coming later. So stuff like that. So these will come from Neovisions Plus units. Instead of a Vision card at EX3, you get a special materia. And then they talked about the special event, and they talked about the collaboration in JP, which was with a real-life aquarium, which is the whole basis of the event. It's about the Bismarck Esper. It's kind of cool. And then, and here is the event. So, you know, we are actually getting this farm. Like I said, we usually get the big major farming events. So this is the one. This was JP's anniversary. So we are getting that farming event. You farm it for lapis, keys, etc. They didn't mention any of the EX bosses. So will we get them? Don't know. Tune in for the news tomorrow, and we'll find out. And then some small updates to Clash of Wills. Honestly speaking, these are mostly irrelevant, but we'll go over them anyway. So they're consolidating some of the focus abilities in Clash of Wills. So the Focused Energy is now going to also have the Focused... I'm not sure what the original word was called, but the Focused Mitigation that really no one used. Now it's going to just auto-cast with your Focused Energy. If you're Focused Plus, it's 70. If you're Focused whatever, it's 50. These do not stack with your normal mitigation. So honestly speaking, it's not really anything. It's not going to stack with your regular abilities. And the other one is you're going to get an auto-cast 5k barrier or a 2500 barrier. And yet again, this is just straight up the same thing as the Savior's Armor, which I hope everyone is using in Clash of Wills anyway, so literally doesn't do anything. Yeah. And that was it. That was literally the entirety of the live stream. So, new units, a new leader skill for Rain, they're taking away the Pearl stages, and we're getting some whatever Clash of Wills updates and the farm event. That's it. That's it. So I know I kind of went a little bit on a tangent about the removal of content, because it frustrates me. Like I said, it's just not good for the game that they're taking away everything. Little by little, they're removing every single piece of the game. So now we know they're taking away the Pearl stages. They're taking away Dark Visions for 3 months. So what's left? Like, why are we pulling all these units to sit on the bench for 2 weeks? I've done basically nothing in Brave Exvius. I log in once a day, do video summons. I get an old red unit from a video summons once a week, and then I log back out again. There's nothing to do in the game. And that was not addressed at all on the stream. At the very end of the stream, Hiroki said something like, "We hear your feedback, we're trying to make the game better." So, take it for what it's worth. That's what he said. We'll see what happens. But they didn't talk about anything else. Like, I mean, I don't know. I'm in like multiple Discord servers about Brave Exvius, and I browse them every single day. And pretty much every single Discord server these days, for 3 weeks, the only topic people talk about is like the game's problems, end of service, etc. That's all anyone talks about. it's like, it's to the point where I barely even interact in the Discords anymore because I'm tired of hearing about it. I really am. But everyone is disappointed in the way that so much content is being removed, and that wasn't even addressed during the live stream. They completely ignored it. And if that's going on in every single Discord server that I am a part of, they definitely see it. Like, it's not an isolated thing, like a few people unhappy in one server. It's at least every server that I'm in, every single day, that's the topic of conversation, to the point where I am sick of hearing about it. Like, I barely even talk on the servers anymore because I'm so tired of it. But I understand why everyone's frustrated, because they're bringing this problem on. And the live stream, I was so hoping for the live stream to give some, like, big announcement. 90-minute live stream, and the only announcement was, hey, we're getting JP units we already knew about. The end. They didn't touch on anything. Anyway, tomorrow we're going to go over the news, and hopefully I'll have a guest for that. Got one lined up. We'll see if they make it this time. Anyway, see you next time.